My name is Scott Jones, better off known as inmate 292237 of the Alabama Department of Corrections. I've been locked up for 14 years for a crime that I did not commit. I'm asking for someone to please just hear me and listen to my story.
Well, the Mobile County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deadly home invasion in Codeine.
Two 89-year-old victims brutally attacked. Elizabeth Dugan survived, but her friend Lawrence Hudson was found dead in the living room.
He lived there with his grandmother, and he and Mr. Hutchins had a history of not getting along. In fact, the police have been called out there at least on one occasion.
We proved everything that he said, to us that night was a lie. Everything was just pointing to him at the time with the answers that he was giving us. I mean, someone that hasn't done anything wrong doesn't lie.
There was some blood evidence in his room there at the house. Mr. Hutchins' blood was there. So he was initially indicted. The case proceeded on for just a little bit against him, and then mysteriously he was dismissed from the case. As far as underage sales goes, for my money, it's unfathomable that you have a victim's DNA in his bedroom, and you've got prior incidents of violence between those two. And his case is just dismissed in the middle of the night, really. So Tony Parker had reached out to the district attorney's office from jail on several occasions, saying that he had information in other big cases around Mobile. He also eventually told the prosecution that he and my client committed this murder together. He solicits the government and says, here's what I can give you. And they use it.
When I first heard Tony Parker was giving them information, I was like, his ass is just trying to get out of jail is all he's trying to do. I don't think he has any type of integrity whatsoever.
As far as theory of prosecution is concerned, to me, it's preposterous. All right, you had 3 people with all manner of incentives to give statements that would benefit them and hurt Scott. So Tony Parker is a co-defendant. He implicated himself in this matter. You also look at his brother, Brian Parker, the other Parker, and then you have Miss Alicia Hay, who is Brian's girlfriend, saying that he had confessed that he's committed this horrible murder. Between these 3, they had some 20-some-odd state and federal convictions between them. So the motive, according to your snitches, is a money grab. I think they left behind about $600 or $800 at the home, so not a very good money grab.
The robbery thing, we kind of carved that out whenever we saw the money on the bed, because if it was money, there was $600-700 sitting there. Why didn't they take that if it was an actual robbery and they were looking for money? That case was messed up from the beginning.
So one of the great conundrums of the world of informants is, why would the government rely on witnesses that we all understand are unreliable? The government understands it, the judge understands it, lawyers understand it, possibly everyone except the jury in the room understands. And the answer is, when their cases are weak. When the government lacks strong evidence, forensic evidence, other witnesses, it is more tempting to rely on unreliable witnesses.
As far as finding evidence that links him to the scene, there's none whatsoever. As far as this blood testing and DNA, Mr. Jones was excluded. Exclusion is absolute. So that means the DNA that was found there could not possibly match.
Now, in closing arguments, District Attorney Ashley Rich picked up the baseball bat that was entered as evidence and described what she says Jones did during the attack.
So in this particular case, the baseball bat that was found had no evidence at all that there was any blood. Without any evidence at all, there's no way you can say that this was anything other than a baseball bat that was found out in the environment. It may have nothing to do with the case.
The trial of a murder suspect is underway in Government Plaza. You may remember Scott Jones.
Jones faces 20 years to life in prison on each charge, and Rich says she will ask for the maximum.
I mean, the 2 lives, I don't know how to do that. I can't give you but 1 life. That's all I have.
I know Scott did not commit this crime, and I'm never going to give up. I will never give up on my son. He's an innocent man, and I'll be there for him till the very end. I'll on my last breath. I'll be there.
I love her so much that I'll do anything in the world for her. That's one of my biggest dreams, is being able to get out and have time with her.
Scott was always a very kind, extremely generous child. He always had a smile for you, and for instance, if he had a sucker and you said, "Can I have a lick?" "Oh, you're going to get the whole sucker." He was just a great kid.
The dreams that I always had was to be able to raise a family. I've always wanted to have my own little horse ranch, be able to have a piece of land. If I want to fish, if I want to just sit there and look at the stars and moon, I missed out on so much.
My oldest son actually lived with Scott and my sister for a while. My son was very, very troubled. Scott took him under his wing and raised him for a couple years. The day we found out the verdict, kind of like the whole world went black. My son tried to kill himself by overdosing on methamphetamines. Because that's his dad, that's his uncle, and he knows he didn't do this.
We don't get Christmas, and we don't get Thanksgiving. We don't get birthdays. So we would celebrate those. The one thing I would do with Scott, I think if I could, I would hug him, I would cry with him. Give me a minute. No, I think we would start a new life. That's what I think. A life he deserves.